I wanted to go over today how I begin my sessions because this is something that everybody can do once or twice or three times a day to help settle, calm down, and check in with your own emotions, which ultimately is a good thing. Emotions biologically like to be named and validated and even experienced if you can do that on your own. It aligns, it has something to do with the alignment of the left and the right brain. And I mean those terms loosely because it's not as concrete as that. But putting language on experience is very calming for the brain and the body. It likes that. So, what I'd like you to do is get very comfortable, either in a chair or lying down where you can just listen to what I'm saying. And just put your feet flat on the ground and turn all your attention out of your head and just focus. I'm closing my eyes on the soles of your feet, sensing the ground underneath you. The idea here is just to notice that there is a ground underneath you. It is simply that, no more, no less. And as you do that, you can try to bring the full weight of yourself into your body. Often we can be spaced out and kind of out of body. You want to really become embodied and feel your weight and the gravitational pull to the ground. Excellent. Then slowly let your attention drift up so you become aware of the chair underneath the bottom of your legs, your bottom, and against your back. Right? There's no thinking here. It's just sensing against your skin, the ground, and the chair. Exactly. Now, let's turn attention to the breath. And I want to teach you how to do deep belly breathing, which involves taking in a nice deep inhale and imagining that the air is going past your lungs into your hips and your belly. And when you breathe in, the way you know you're able to do this is your belly will come way out like a Buddha. And this can take practice, but I want you to put your hands on your stomach and practice taking in a breath where your chest stays down but your belly comes out, right? And then you're releasing, you're holding for a beat, one beat, and then slowly releasing like you're blowing on hot soup, like when we were little and we wanted to cool down our soup. So it's like this. Big breath into the belly, hold, and as you do that exhale, you want to tune into your core, and you're using your lips and the rate of the exhale like you're tailoring it, trying to actively calm your body, slow everything down, slow your heart, which we can do with the breath because what we're actually doing is stimulating the major nerve in the body called the vagus nerve, which goes to your heart and your lungs and your stomach and everything. So this is something that is free and easy, and you can do several times a day to take 4, 5, 6 deep belly breaths every day in this technique. Okay, so let's do this a few more times. Breathe in. And you can do it in the mirror. You want to practice not letting your chest, like most of us breathe like this. Okay, this is not what we want to do. We want to be still and let the belly come out. Hold and breathe out. Feeling each time we breathe, our body soften and relax and go limp. With each breath, we should feel a little more relaxed. Now, after about 5 or 6 breaths, what I'd like you to do is just turn your attention to your thoughts and just begin to notice the thoughts going through your head, like traffic. So you're watching the traffic, but you're not getting into the car, so to speak. You want to just notice the content of your thoughts, validate them, and come back. If you get carried away, as soon as you wake up and realize that you got carried away, come back to just noticing the content of your thoughts. But then relatively quickly, we want to come down below the neck where emotions live and just begin to notice and name any emotions that we are carrying with us right now, right here in the present moment. And we do this always with a stance of radical compassion for ourselves, curiosity, and doing the best we can to not judge anything that we notice. This is a practice in just being and allowing and noticing what's happening inside. And it's a practice in trying not to judge, but instead to be compassionate to ourselves. So as I tune in right now, I notice I feel relatively relaxed from doing this exercise. I also notice I'm a little excited. I can tell because there's a slight fluttering, and I have much to be excited these days because I have a book coming out in February, and it's heating up. So I'm aware that I'm living in a constant state of excitement that's teetering on anxiety. They're very closely related. But you may notice other feelings. You may notice some joy. You may notice sadness. You may notice a general feeling of anxiety. So just hover in your body for as long as you can stand as you breathe, and just try to name one emotion at a time. Try to put language on it. And on my website, I have lists of emotion and sensation words. So we want to try to put some language on what we're feeling the best that we can. There's no right or wrong here. It's just our subjective experience. And then we want to move on to the next, looking for the next emotion, putting a name on that, and the next, and the next. And if there's a lot that you're feeling inside, you want to imagine that you grow. We can use our imagination in all these amazing ways to help our mental health. You want to imagine that there's ever-increasing space inside you so that each emotion is kind of lined up with a lot of space and air around it so that they're not collapsed on each other, because that's also what causes us to feel anxious. So we just want to keep naming all that we can. And if you want to kind of go advanced, when you find an emotion, see if you can notice the physical sensations that let you know you're having this emotion, right? Because emotions are physical experiences that we come to over time recognize as emotions. So for example, if you focus in on a feeling of fear, you might notice a trembling in your extremities or in your core. If you're feeling angry, again, without judging and looking for a reason, we just notice it, and you may feel a kind of burning. You might feel some energy coming up and out, right? Those are the impulses, and you just want to notice and breathe, and then move on to the next, and then move on to the next, and see how many things you can notice. And give yourself permission to take all the time you need to slow down and notice without judgment, with compassion and curiosity. And that exercise in itself is typically very relaxing. Let me know. Visit my website, check out my resources at hilaryjacobshendel.com. Look out for the upcoming book that Random House is publishing on February 6th called It's Not Always Depression, which is about working the change triangle like we just started today, to discover your core emotions and reconnect with your authentic self. Okay, stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening.